Alhamdulillah, dear friends, today we reach the 12th name. Uh, Mind you that we are still going through this last verse of Surah Al-Hashr, which is called the verse of Al-Asma al-Husna. And Al-Asma al-Husna, even though it is a name um, that we can use today to describe all the what we call the divine names, but initially it was there to describe only these 12 names. These are al-asma al-husna. Uh-huh. In this surah, we said it is a verse of Surah Al-Hashr, but in reality it is a surah because it was revealed by itself and then it was put at the end of Surah Al-Hashr, starting with Hu Allah alladhi la ilaha illahu عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. So you see here there is the word al-asma'ul husna, lahul asma'ul husna. So al-asma'ul husna, yes, it is a name that we use today to describe all the divine names, but initially it only meant these 12 names. These 12 divine names. We said many times that we say divine names just because we are using the same thing that people are using, but we said that they are not names per se, they are potentialities, they are spaces for us where we can grow and become divine. There are spaces for us where we can plant our seeds. There are spaces for us where also we can go and meet and encounter the divine in the horizon of our understanding, expectation, or better than that, realization. When I am realized as a khaliq, I meet the khaliq. When I am realized as mutakabbir, I meet the mutakabbir. When I am realized as bari, I meet the bari. Double sword with double edges. If I am realized in the light of al-mutakabbir, the expansive, there I will meet the mutakabbir even more. Akbar, 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 Akbar. My understanding expands and the divine grace expands. The divine wisdom expands. My understanding of it expands and my comprehension expands and the gift itself expands. But also if I am realized in the shadow of al-mutakabbir, we said, which is arrogance and thinking that I'm bigger and greater than others, then that will open the way for us, or for the person who is like that, to meet, to encounter the shadow of al-mutakabbir connected to God. And that is the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he says, al-kibriya'u ridai, or al-kibriya'u izari, وما نازعني فيه أحد إلا قصمته. Al-kibriya is my own cloak, and anyone wants to take it from me, I'll break him or break her, that person. Then Fir'aun, when he says أنا ربكم الأعلى, he was mutakabbir, And then that was an opportunity, quote unquote, for him to encounter the divine. He did encounter the divine at that space, but at the space of what? What kind of encounter? Conflict. So if we are waging war against the divine, there. With Al Musawwar, it is the same thing. This name of Al Musawwar is very beautiful because we have very beautiful things about it, but we have this hadith about Al Musawwar that the person who يصور صورة, the person will be drawing a picture, will be asked the day of revelation, of realities, of truth, he will be asked to blow the spirit in it. And then he won't be able to, and then that will be his or her punishment. Of course, it was understood, the orthodoxy and the orthopraxy, they understood that, so you never make a picture, even photos, and that's why the shuyukh, the Muslim shuyukh, you find them without faces, and Muslim dolls, you find them without eyes, without. And so, because they have this problem with surah, they think, yeah, they took it to that. But actually, the hadith is very, 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 very deep. If you want to take it, of course, and there is. Why wouldn't I take it if I find the deep meaning in it? Which is anyone who takes a form, who makes a form, like me, I'm making a form here. My ideas are taking a form. Okay, in front of you, this is a form. This is a forum and a form. Okay, and I'm asked to blow the spirit in it, and I think I am. I think it is alive. I think it is not just a shell and a superficial thing, a performance. Okay, you may blow the spirit even if you are an actor. You may blow the spirit in your role as an actor. In the movie PK that I told you, Amir Khan was really putting his spirit in that role, for example, and many, many, many. Let's see. So that's the me. So um, we said these are spaces of encounter where we encounter the divine. In a good way, or because there are two ways to encounter the divine. Either we are embracing the divine, then the Prophet Muhammad taught us that the divine says, the one who walks towards me, I'll be running towards him, and the one who yeah, who comes towards me like with a like a distance of span, I'll be there like whatever. The one who comes, who walks 1 foot, I'll walk for him like a kilometer if you want. So that's the embrace, but also we can encounter the divine while we are resisting the divine. Because when you resist the divine, there is no escape from the divine. Still will encounter the divine. Now, the difference, you are not going to encounter the divine while embracing the divine, but you will be taught by the divine. Come here. Where are you going? Because if you escape the divine, what are you going to find? I remember one day at the school, I was escaping the director of the school, and I saw him there. So I decided to take the other direction. And as soon as I turned like this, back face to face with him like that, and pah, he gave me that slap. Where are you escaping from me? Oh my God. Oh, astaghfirullah, I'm not telling you to imagine God like that, but that is how the encounter with God happens sometimes with people who are escaping God. Now, if you are embracing God, the encounter will be, come, my son, come. Like when you embrace your kitten who wants to come to you, or your son or child wants to come to you. Yeah, so Al Asma al Husna, this is the first time I bring this idea fresh. So you see, you'll be happy with me, Anglophone people. I did not say, I promise, I did not say any of this in the French session, or Adam is a witness. It just came. This is fresh for you. I never thought about it before. You see? So, uh, yeah, we can encounter, these are spaces for us to encounter the divine in both ways, huh? Either through embracing the divine or being caught by the divine as well. We can be caught by the divine. uh, Subhanallah. Naam. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Al-Musawwir is the 12th name. 12 is a very beautiful symbolic number. You have 12 months to complete the year. You have 12 hours to complete the day, 12 hours to complete the night, 12 to complete the cycle, 12 apostles, 12 imams, 12 letters for La ilaha illallah, 12 letters, the completion of the cycle, 12. 12 means, if you are talking about the completion of a cycle and it is a circle, that means it is the number of the infinite, to keep going. The cycle, the circle keeps going. So, and it is the 12th and the last name, the last ism of Asma Allah al-Husna. So if I stop here today and I don't give any other session, I fulfilled my promise when I told you I'm going to give sessions about Asma Allah al-Husna. Because that these are the Asma that are called in the Quran Asma Allah al-Husna. Really, precisely. But no, I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to continue with more Asma that people called Asma Allah al-Husna as well. But let us keep in mind that these 12 are special. You understand? Mm, they are special because they were called by the divine as Asma Allah al-Husna per se, specifically. Let us start with the place of the name. Let us place the name Al-Musawwir. Where are we going to place it? Now we're going to place it in this verse, and it is the 12th. It comes after Al-Khaliq and after Al-Bari. We said Al-Khaliq is to give measure. Al-Bari is to bring into existence with purification. Ontologically speaking, what is missing? What do we need after that? You remember last time I said Al-Khaliq is when you bring the lapat, when you bring the clay together, you bring the clay together. I have a cat, baby cat yelling here. I cannot even focus. I mean, people in Tunisia are very cruel when it comes to cats, seriously. And it is spring now. All cats are, lots of baby cats, you find them like thrown in a hole here or there. Seriously, like makes. لا حول ولا قوة إلا. Now I'm hearing this cat and don't know where they are. Where did they throw them? Astaghfirullah. They want to control the number of cats in that way. Subhanallah. So, anyways, لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله, really. Stopped. Okay, Bismillah. Al-Khaliq, it gives measure. Al-Bari brings into existence with purification. What do we need? We said we have this clay now. You measured it. I need this amount of clay. Okay, good. Structure, etc. And you started kneading now that clay or that la pâte or that not pastry, kneading the bread, not the bread. What is the Amina? What do you make the bread from? The dough. You are kneading the dough now. That's albari, because when you knead the dough, there is air, gas, and water that is still there in the dough, and then it will be released. So you purify the dough from that substance. But also, when you are kneading the dough, there may be you'll find some pieces that are chewy that did not absorb. That they did not absorb the oil or the butter or the water. So you just take them off, because otherwise, if you keep them in the bread after that, they will be they won't cook well. Same thing if you are making pottery. The same thing. You need to take those stones, and that you need to take them away. Otherwise, that pot that you made, it will crack at the first opportunity, the first test. It won't survive the first test. You put it in the sun, it will crack if it survives the sun, because it is very minuscule grain of dust that you allow there. Okay, trust me, when you put it in the fire, that pot will crack, because the fire accepts only what is pure. What comes after that? Now hmm, you have the dough, the amount of dough, you needed the dough. What comes after? Ayman, what comes after? Welcome. What comes after? Ontologically speaking, what do we need after? خلقت ثم برأت. Now, what do you need? Huh? Write it. It's easy. Forming, to give form. To give form. So, and that's al-musawwar. So, al-musawwar gives each being its unique form. Al-musawwar, I translated as the giver of form, the one who shapes singularity, the revealer of beauty through differentiation. Al-musawwar gives each being its unique form, not just existence, but this form and not another. Without al-musawwar, everything would exist, but nothing would be distinct. No faces, no identities, no expressions, only undifferentiated existence. Imagine a world like that. So, Al Musawwar is that revelation of the unicity through uniqueness. We reveal unicity or oneness through uniqueness. We reveal our wahidiyya through our ahadiyya. We reveal our wahidiyya through our ahadiyya. There is a difference between the word al-wahid and al-ahad. Al-wahid is the one indistinctively. Al-ahad is the unique. No one like him or no one like her. Now, oh my God, the cat is crying again. Ya Latif. Okay, let us wrap up this quickly so we can do something. Bismillah. So, the root sawara is to shape, to give image. In Arabic now, in the dictionary, sawara means, it carries meanings such as to shape, to give form, to configure, to bring forth an image, but not in a superficial sense. It is the act of giving visible identity to invisible reality, but also sawara and sawara are related. The sad and the seen are related. It's the dialect that created these two different sounds, but in the beginning is the same. It's, and after that, if you open your mouth like that, becomes, and if you keep your mouth like this, it's, and that's how the scene came about and the sword came about. But we find words with sword and words with scene similar. So sawara and sawara, they are connected. What is sawara? Sawara, from sawara comes the word surah, and we said that surah means a complete subject, a subject that is treated completely. But also comes the word surah. What is surah? Surah are the murals of a city, and usually they are in the shape of a circle. That's how the old cities used to be. And it's a sur. Surah means a circle. So uh, uh, sawara means to draw a circle. And the tasweer, if you think about a tasweer, your face is circle, your eyes are circles, like your mouth is a circle, and think about it, we are circles. your, your breasts, we are circles. We are made out of circles. Humans, think about it. I mean, circle, 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 circle. We are circles. Huh? So, and that's a tasweer, and that's the good way of starting, of drawing. You start with circles and start. Don't start with one line. You start with a circle, and after that, from that circle comes another thing, etc., etc. So, um, At-taswir is the act of giving visible identity to invisible reality. Form is not illusion. Form is expression. Why we are talking about form is not illusion, form is expression, here we are talking about two different currents in the spirituality, in the spiritual development, or in the spiritual journeying or wayfaring. There is a current that is anti-form, and that's the current of assets. And we find it, for example, in still practiced in India, and in many places where you find the priests or the wayfarers, they neglect their form, or they make their bodies suffer in order for them to be purified, and because they are living the name of Al-Bari. They get lost, if you want, in the space of the pure, the purification. They keep purifying themselves from everything that they end up purifying, wanting or desiring to purify themselves from their humanness and humanity, and they want to become just angels. I call that the angelism. They want to become angels. Because they hate coming to earth. They don't like earth. Anything earthly, they hate it. They hate sex, for example. They don't get married. And they have celibacy. They see it as something dirty. Okay? They even hate food. You find it in some currents still today that they actually they don't eat, they don't drink. And in some practices, like, they reach a level where they actually stop eating and drinking for months. Uh, uh, they um, they become transparent. Sometimes you can see their blood running in their vessels. And one of the companions of the Prophet Abu Dhar was known to have a journey in this sense, and the Prophet allowed many, because the Prophet was musawwar. He was not in uniformity, and he allowed everyone to experience his own journey, but he he corrected everyone where he is without asking everyone to become uniform. Um, so, for those people, form is an illusion and is a hated thing, and they actually created this whole idea, and or they were so obsessed with this idea that the human came on Earth and starting having this image because of the original sin. Huh? Um, they say that the human, when he was in paradise, did not have this image. He was covered with light. He had like clothes with light. He had the libas made of light. That with that libas, they don't see the hair of their skin. They don't see their sexual organs. They don't see uh, the deformations in the formation. And then when that veil of light collapsed because they ate from that fruit or that tree. They started ليواري عنهم سوآتهم. Then they started seeing. Then they not يواري. Then the يكشف. Then they started seeing in their سوآت, their deformations and their vulnerable places and their sexual organs, etc., became exposed to them, and then you see. Subhanallah. And so that's how the human took form, really. The real surah of the human today took form after the original sin as a punishment. So our surah is actually, it was shown to us as a sawat. Our surah was shown to us as a deformation. So, subhanallah, you see this? This is the mythology I'm telling you. When I was a child, my grandmother told me, told me that when we were in paradise, we were all covered like with nails. We're all covered with nails like that. We were uh, uh, like dolls with nails. Imagine that. We're like glowing with nails. See? And actually like a fish. But not like a fish, but just one, like dolls, like ceramic dolls, like ceramic. We're like ceramic dolls, like glowing like that. See, the nail is like, it's fancy somehow. We're all like that, like robots. Yeah, we're like that. And then after our mother and father ate from the tree, then they got uncovered, and only the nails remained to show us that that's how we were. Alhamdulillah, I said when my grandmother told me that back then, I told me, oh my God, that would be horrible if we were just covered with nails, all of us. Alhamdulillah, they ate from that tree. I'm happy with my skin. Come on. Alhamdulillah. So, but you see, there is that self-hatred, that human who thinks that angel, uh, that to be transparent is superior to have a form, and for them, form is an illusion. No, the correction here is form is not illusion, form is expression. Mm? But also in the theology, some people they tell you the form does not exist. The form is an illusion. There is no form. It's just in your imagination. But no, that Maya. But that's not what we believe. That's not what we see. The people of Tasawwuf, they don't see that. They tell you form is an incarnation of the divine spirit. Actually, the form exists. It is the body of God. The cosmos, if you want, is the body of God. It is the manifestation of God, but it is the body. So there is the essence of God, like the soul, and there is the body of God, which is the cosmos, and you are part. Your body is part of the body of God, and your soul is from the soul of God. It is like, it makes you shiver a bit, but that's what it is. You see? So they tell you no, a form is there. It is the expression of the divine existence. Uh, the cosmos, the form of things, of the creation, al khalqu is not, waham is not an illusion. Al khalqu tajalliyatul haqq. إنما الخلق تجليات الحق, says Ibn Arabi. الخلق تجليات الحق. People before, they would make a dichotomy between khalq and haq, between khalq, taswir, taking form, and the haq, the real. They tell you no, al khalq, the form is an expression of the real, is not an illusion, it's not anti-real, it's not against the real. Okay. Now, al musawwir, also let us place it as a completion of the triad. We said it is the completion of the 12 names, but it is the completion of the triad. The full movement now becomes Al Khaliq, gives measure, Al Bari, emergence, pure emergence, Al Musawwar, gives form. Measure defines possibility, emergence brings into existence, form reveals identity. You see the trilogy? Okay, measure defines possibility, that's what al khalq is. Emergence, after that, brings into existence, and form reveals identity. Without al musawwar, creation remains abstract. With al musawwar, creation becomes visible, relational, meaningful. Al Musawwar is also comes after Al Bari, and you understand now that, especially in these 12 names, each name comes with its light, with a new light, to correct the shadow of the name that came before it. When I say that, I mean that each possibility, each name, if you want, each divine name brings a light, brings a possibility, brings a therapy to heal us from a misincarnation of the previous name, of a wrong incarnation of the previous name. Because these names are divine names, divine spirits, they come and they come from the world of the absolute, and we are relative. So of course we are going to take the light and the shadow. What is the shadow of Al Bari? That the light of Al Musawwar is called to correct. What is the shadow of Al Bari? That the light of Al Musawwar is called to correct. Hmm? Write it or open the mic and say it. What is the shadow of Al Bari? We said Al Bari is the pure, or the pure existence, that the light of Al Musawwar is called to correct. What would be misincarnating Al Bari? Al Bari is purifying. The shadow of it is Puritanism. Okay? The shadow of Al Bari is, yeah, yeah. If you want to bring something forward, there is, I'm sorry, I cannot read more than the first line. If you can open the mic and say it, one of you.
I was trying to say, Shaykh Hamdi, if like you have to embrace imperfection
Uh-huh.
for in order like be the kindness or embrace towards it for the form to manifest,
Yeah.
something like that.
Of, of course, of course, because the shadow
Tolerance.
of Al-Bari will be the absence of Al-Form, because the absence of even creating, because we will have perfectionism. Thank you. We have perfectionism, and perfectionism will bring sterility, because I cannot create something pure and perfect, so I end up not doing anything. Uh, see, also another shadow of Al-Bari is uniformism. Uh, So the shadow of Al-Bari is over purification, dissolution of form, refusal of identity, refusal of incarnation, a desire to be so pure that one disappears. Al Musawwar corrects this. It says, form is not the problem, form is never a problem, distorted form is a problem, obsession with form is a problem, but form in itself is not a problem. So Al Musawwar restores legitimacy of identity, beauty of distinction, value of uniqueness. When you think about communism, it was a puritanistic movement. Everyone is the same. At some point, they gave them letters. Don't have identity. You have to choose between letters or numbers. Ideally, 1984, they just had numbers. See, no identities, like same serial numbers. And you see, and uh, no distinction because they saw distinction as something ugly. No uniqueness. All houses are the same, all apartments are the same. Huh? Subhanallah. So, Al Musawwir restores legitimacy of identity, beauty of distinction, value of uniqueness. So, now the mystical reading of Al Musawwir, the divine loves to be seen in forms. The divine is not anti form, the divine loves to be seen in forms. There is a deep secret here. The real does not only expand, al mutakabbir, not only structure, al khaliq, nor only purify, al bari, it also reveals itself through forms. Each form is a perspective to see the divine, a window open on the world of the divine, a manifestation of the divine existence. Not the totality of it, but not separate either. Like the flower in a garden, each flower is a perspective of the garden, a window to see the beauty of that, or to imagine the beauty of that garden, a manifestation of that life running through that garden or channeled in that garden, not the totality. It is one flower from the garden, but not separate either. The human participation in the name Al Musawwir. When the human now, when the name Al Musawwir, when this Al Musawwir, when we start growing in this potential in this space Al Musawwir, when we go to encounter the divine in this space Al Musawwir, there are two possibilities as a humans, of course, light and shadow. So, what are the two possibilities when it comes to Al Musawwir? So, for someone, if I tell you, go and draw something, Hidayat, there are two possibilities for you to draw something. What are the two possibilities? Huh? I don't hear you. Open your mic.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You can hear.
Something you imagine or something
Uh-huh.
you see?
Beautiful. Say it better. Something you imagine, so you bring it from which world?
The unseen, like what is
Uh-huh.
in you, but from a source, and then
Beautiful.
what
So then what are you doing? You are expressing it.
into form, like you're bringing
Uh-huh.
it into form,
Uh-huh. You are bringing something inside into form outside, which is uh,
manifesting,
expression. Uh,
like
okay.
manifesting.
Manifesting or expressing a feeling, expressing an intelligence, expressing something. I'll keep the word expressing. What is the other possibility? You said something you are seeing it, or you are, what are you doing? You are
Imitating or reproducing.
imitating or copying. Thank you very much. So these are the two possibilities when it comes to Al Musawwir, when it comes for us to create a form. Either I'm expressing a reality or I am imitating someone. When I
Yeah,
am taking a form, Hamdi, okay, as Sheikh Hamdi taking a form, either I am allowing the energy of Hamdi to be Hamdi and then to be myself and to take the form that here and now I'm happy with it and that fits me here and now, or I'm going to just borrow the turban of someone and the jubba of someone and put the shawl of someone and try to clone someone. You see, it's that. That's what it is. That's what it is. So that's form. That's how form is. It's either you express a reality, something within you with authenticity, or you imitate. And we said that imitation is necessarily a limitation. So when we want to نصور, we need to express. We allow authenticity, creativity, beauty, uniqueness, originality. The shadow here, other than imitation, is obsession with image, identification with appearance, and unhealthy narcissism. Because not all narcissism is unhealthy. A minimum of narcissism is required. A minimum of narcissism is required. Otherwise, you are not celebrating the divine grace, the ni'mah. A minimum of quote unquote narcissism, which is recognizing the beauty, recognizing your own beauty, recognizing the fadl, admiring your own eyes, admiring your own voice, your own style, your way of expressing yourself, happy with who you are, happy with that manifestation is important. Otherwise, you'll be hating yourself or missing out on the divine grace that you are channeling. You should not confuse form as expression with form as egotism or obsession with ego. The true shaping is transparent. The form points beyond itself. Now, fake shaping, the form imprisons the reality. True shaping, the form is starting, it's just a beginning to tell you the reality is much bigger. It's like the tree that hides the forest. The beauty that you see in my language, for example, is just hiding way more beauty in my intelligence or whatever. The beauty that you see in my costume is hiding way more beauty that is inside me. That's the real مصور. When al-musawwir sawwar al-akwan, the beauty that we see in the nature and that makes us wow, wow, like cannot, subhanallah, traveling here in Tabarqa and seeing the mountains of Tunisia, the lakes, the meeting between the ocean and the mountains, etc., like with tears in the eyes, like wow. That the divine tells you that's nothing. That's just to give you a taste of what I am really about. Same thing when we express a form, when an artist paints something or plays a piece or, it's the same thing. It is an expression, and expression is always a glimpse of the reality. But an imitation is a prison of the reality. It's a cage where you try to put the reality, and because the reality is free or it can't be, then that cage ends up empty from and void of any reality. Yeah, a taste of an anticipated reality as well. Thank you. By the way, you were mentioning something about circles, Hidayat, and I was not able to read it. Can you say it?
Yeah, like in drawing for learning the human being in the Waldorf
Yeah.
pedagogy, they don't do form like how we think of it, shoulders and arms. You start with the sun for the head of the human being,
Yes.
circle. Then you take a part of the moon, and that's the body, the trunk. And then you take the stars to make the limb, and to kind of bring this idea that in the human is the entire universe, but also circles leave more to the imagination for the child. And it's more how the world is. It's not this outline, but actually this shape.
I told you I'm a reincarnation of Rudolf Steiner.
You're better than that. You're better than that. Don't lower your standards.
No, anyway, Alhamdulillah, I'm not talking about the religion that came out of it, that, but I appreciate
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, thank you for bringing that. Uh, and okay, so uh, the when we talk about shaping transparent, so it reveals the beauty, but imitation, shaping, when it is imitation, it does not reveal the beauty. It imprisons. It is a veil. Okay, so a surah should not become a veil. It should be an expression of our reality, not to veil our reality. It should be a bab, a door to our reality, not a hijab that veils our reality. The beauty dimension, like also the surah of Al-Aqwan, should not become a hijab, a veil from the reality. It should be a door that takes us into the world of reality. And here, before continuing, let me go back to the divine intention. You remember when we say Alimul Ghaybi wa Shahada? Before starting these 12 names or 12 possibilities of incarnation or 12 spaces of consciousness development or 12 spaces to meet the divine or 12 appointments, we started with Alim al-Ghaybi wa Shahada. And we said alim is to design. That alima means to design, literally, not to know. Is to design, or to make a alama, to mark, to trace. Alima means to design. And that's why the alam is called alam. The flag is called alam in Arabic because it is alama. It is a mark, to mark, to design. Alim al-ghayb al-shahada is the marker or the designer of ghayb and shahada. Ghayb is invisible, shahada is visible. That's what it is. Ghayb is what you cannot see, and shahada is what you can actually testify. You can see. I see it in front of me. Ashhadu. Okay, so which is very beautiful. Because after that, all the names or all the possibilities of incarnation, they can go ghaib or shahada. They can go light or shadow. Because if I see your light, I'm sure that you have a shadow that I cannot see now. So in the beginning of a relationship, we love one another. I see your light and you see my light. Light, 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 light. And then shadow, 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 shadow. No, he's telling you, when you see the light, know that there is shadow. And when there is shadow, know that there is light. When you see light, know that there is shadow. When you see shadow, know that there is light. Don't be like this stupid who sees only the light and idealizes someone, and the next day he sees only the shadow and ends up demonizing the same person and lying twice. Lying twice, because when you said, oh, that person is light upon light, you are lying. No one is light upon light. That person is light upon shadow. And then when you start hating that person, said that person is shadow upon shadow. You are lying. No one is shadow upon shadow. But in your perspective, it is shadow upon light. There is light that is hidden by the shadow. So that's al-ghaib wa shahad. So in our development, we need to understand when we see something in someone, it is hiding something deeper. It is very important to talk about this, especially when we are talking about al-musawwir. Because the taswir, to give a form, uh, is to play with shadows. That's how we give form. But here it is the shadow that corrects the light. The pure al-bari is the pure light, is the angel, is the angelical form. Al-musawwir is the human form that is actually correcting the shadow, correcting the light here. The light of the shadow is correcting the shadow of the light, if you want it. The light of the shadow, al-musawwir, is the light of the shadow. The light of the shadower, of al-musawwir, of the giving form, the light of the form is correcting the shadow of the light. The shadow of formlessness. The light of the form is correcting the shadow of formlessness. That's where al-musawwir comes, and that's why it is the last one. So, Bismillah. Now the beauty dimension. When we talk about taswir, I mean, even if you tell a child, draw a picture, and that child will just draw whatever, or Ihsana will draw something with Ihsan, a beautiful cat, etc. And then what they are expecting from you to tell them that's a huge picture, or that's a small picture, or that's a black, or that's a green. What is the word that they need to hear from you? Say it, I'm hearing.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Otherwise, if you don't give them that word, they're not happy. So if you tell Hamdi now, after all this gymnastic and all of this, tell him, wow, your class was so rich. Okay. Tell him, if you tell him, beautiful, then he will be happy. That's it. That's what I need because I'm painting something. You need to tell them beautiful because there is a beauty dimension in taking form in at-taswir. Now, when any child, any person, I just met a girl who has Down syndrome, trisomy 21. Down syndrome? Yeah. In the clinic. I was in the clinic this morning and I met this girl that has Down syndrome. And she looked at me and she said, "You are so beautiful." And I told her, "Oh my God, you are so beautiful." Like she bursted with tears and joy and happy. He told me, "You are the best." I told her, "You are the best." And it was such a beautiful encounter, such a beautiful dialogue. Everyone needs to be seen and admired and needs to, because we are beautiful. And we need to be seen as beautiful. And we need to see, and they say the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. It is true, but the beauty is there in everything, but the eyes of the beholder, some eyes are more intelligent than other eyes. So any form wants to be admired. Any form wants to be told you are beautiful. Any form. If you want to nourish nature, like nature is nourishing you, beheld, you said. What is beheld? Okay, I don't get it.
To behold beauty. It's an expression.
To behold beauty. Thank you. So any form needs to be beheld. Any form needs to be appreciated and seen. And you need to tell each form you are beautiful. If you want to nourish nature, like nature is nourishing you, when you look at a tree, tell the tree you are beautiful. Then look at the sun, tell the sun you are beautiful. Look at the moon, tell the moon you are beautiful. Seriously. Look at the cat, tell the cat you're beautiful. Not just cute, but beautiful. Yeah, cuteness is form of beauty, but beautiful. Jamil is more complete. Oh, Hasana. Oh, beautiful. Then tell that you are beautiful. Hmm? You are beautiful. You see, then you nourish that thing, you nourish that existence when you see its beauty and you tell that existence you are beautiful. It's important. Now, the beauty of, we're not talking about decorative beauty, we are talking about the ontological beauty, we're talking the beauty of proportion, harmony, uniqueness, coherence. Each being is shaped in a way that reveals a facet of the real no other being reveals. Each being is shaped in a way that reveals a facet of the real no other being reveals. Each being is shaped in a way that reveals a facet of the real no other being reveals. Look at the cosmos, the cosmic dimension now of the name Al Musawwir. Look at existence. No two faces identical, no two leaves identical, no two lives identical, endless variation, infinite creativity. This is Al Musawwir. Form is not repetition. Form is living differentiation. If I tell you draw the absolute, how can we draw the absolute? There is only one way to draw the absolute. What is it?
Anna said the circle. I don't know.
The circle is beautiful. Yes, the circle, you can draw the infinite, but yes, but what is that circle? What is the symbol of the circle? Draw the absolute. How can we manifest the absolute? In the infinity of forms, in the multiplicity of forms, in the infinite multiplicity. If I want to draw the oneness, it has to be infinity multiplicity of forms. So the problem with polytheism is not that they adore 12 gods or 11 gods or 360 gods. It's just they made the limit. They should be infinite. The real Tawheed is to see infinite gods. Infinite. Infinite faces of the divine, infinite facets of the divine, infinite images of the divine. No a certain number of images could seize the divine, let alone one. That's why I say the worst form of polytheism is monotheism. Because when you create a shape and the form, and you say it has to be only in that form, you see, or a form in the formlessness, anyways, Puritanism, Puritanism, resisting to incarnate the divine on earth, while the divine said, أحببت أن أعرف, I want to be known, I want to be touched, I want to be kissed, I want to be hugged, I want to be there with you, amongst you, in you. I want to be your hand with which you take things. I want to be your feet with which you walk. I want to be your eye with which you see. I want to be your ear with which you hear. I want to be your wali. I want you to be my wali. That's what the divine is telling you. Spiritual subtlety, a very fine teaching here that Al Musawwir gives us. To transcend the ego is not to erase form. It is to purify the relationship to form. You are not asked to disappear. You are invited to become a transparent form of the real. One day, Abu Dhar was sitting on thorns. He made a mattress made out of thorns. and he was sitting on that mattress made out of thorns to meditate. Was bleeding. Mosquitoes were everywhere and he wasn't moving. It's like what we hear about Ramana Maharshi in his journey, etc. That kind of style existed as well, and amongst the companions of the Prophet. We were told that Abu Dhar used to have he wasn't eating until we could see the blood running in his. We could see his um, veins. And could see it, and it became like transparent. His face, and the Prophet ﷺ saw him like that. "Bakhin, bakhin, yani, this is good, Abu Dhar. You know what? Let me tell you the good news. There will be people who will be meditating, sitting on cushions made of silk, and they will get the same reward as you." Oh, what is it? Yes. You see, Abu Dhar, this surprise shows that you are a prisoner of this form. Liberate yourself from the form. And that's what Al-Busayri in the Burda says, "وَخْشَى الدَّسَائِسَ مِنْ جُوعٍ وَمِنْ شِبَعٍ فَرُبَّ مَخْمَصَةٍ تُغْنِي عَنِ التُّخَمِ." Be careful from the dasa'is, from the interferences, from the illusions. It may come from fatness and from eating a lot. They may also come from hunger. How many state of hunger killed spiritually the person who is going through that exercise of forbidding oneself from food, and reveal itself to be more dangerous than eating a lot. You see? Now, ontological translation of the name. Al-Musawwar would be the unity of what and the force of what. Al-Musawwar is the unity of formative expression, and it is the force of manifesting singularity. There is a unity of formative expression. So me now giving this formative expression of this class, Hidayat painting or playing music or format, there is a unity of formative expression. We can see it in a concert. We can see it when you put many children drawing in the same room. You can see it, and just you see that unity of formative expression, and it reveals itself sometimes. You put people in the same room drawing things. You don't tell anyone what the other is drawing, just focus on, and then subhanallah, you put them all together and they make perfect sense. Complete. It's because there is a unity of formative expression. The flower expressing itself, the fruit expressing itself, there is a unity of formative expression. We see it in religions, because religion is also from the name Al-Musawwar. And people who are spiritualists, who do not want to incarnate in a form, the universalist or the spiritualist, they end up no form. Okay, no form. Formless? How come form? We are here. We need to incarnate. We need to create a ritual. We need to come in the four elements. I need to create a form, a shape, a certain form. At least it cannot be formless. You see, I need something. I need a form to express. Not to imprison myself in, but to express myself through. So there is a unity of formative expression. You see, religious people in general, without copying on one another, they end up coming up with the same, very, very similar rituals, because there is a unity of formative expression, but also there is a force of manifesting singularity. You need a force to manifest singularity and go through your individuation. Let us have a meditation to integrate all of this, my dear friends. Very short one. Let me call each one of us to, each one of you to close your eyes, my friend. Can I invite you to close your eyes, to breathe deeply. And while breathing, feel your existence as a breath. Focus on your breath and identify yourself to that pure breath, that pure air coming in you, formless air that gives you existence. Now, touch your knees, your legs, muscles. Feel your structure. Feel the clay and water and flesh and blood, bones, articulations. Now, remember your image. Bring your image in front of yourself. Color of your eyes, eyebrows, your hair, your lips, your nose, your form, your face, your voice, your way of being, your way of walking, your way of smiling, your way of talking, and gently ask, what in me is authentic expression? What in me is constructed image? What in me is authentic expression of my being, and what in me is constructed image? Breathe into this question and don't escape it, but don't flog yourself with it. Breathe deeply and again ask yourself gently, what in me is authentic expression? What in me is constructed image? And let the unnecessary fall away. Breathe out all the unnecessary. Let the true form appear, not invented, but revealed. You may do this exercise many times, maybe 12 times is beautiful, until you imagine, you call into your intention the form in which you want actually to be. That is not an imitation, that is not a limitation, that is not a fake invention, that is actually a revelation of who you are truly. Now, open your eyes slowly and let us come back together to this 12th chapter and last chapter of this reflection, the final synthesis of the triad, Al-Khaliq, Al-Bari, Al-Musawwar. So Al-Khaliq gives measure, Al-Bari purifies emergence, Al-Musawwar reveals form. Together they establish structure without rigidity, purity without dissolution, form without ego. This is the balance of creation. And when we say without ego, it means without the negative meaning of ego, without egoism, without egotism, without egocentrism. Let's close with this invocation now. O thou, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty. O you who shapes forms with wisdom. Ya Hakim, Ya Musawwir, Ya Hakim. Reveal in us the form that is true. Purify in us what distorts our expression. Beautify in us what reflects your presence. Make of our being a form that does not hide you, but reveals you. Let our uniqueness be a window, not a wall, a door, not a veil. Ah. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friends. And hopefully, we see you next week with the divine name Al Hakim. It's not the name that comes next in the Orthodox order, but I told you in the beginning that Asma Allah al Husna are done now, the 12. Now it's a matter of ijtihad. And after this, ultimately comes Wahwa al Aziz al Hakim. So there will be Al Aziz al Hakim. It is a name, it is one name that gives two names that work together. We'll see that Al Hakim never came by itself on its own. It always came paired. There are divine names that we cannot call them a divine name, they have to come in pair with something. على كل حال, we'll see that next time. And thank you very much. And see you next week. Oh.